of the trilogy is called Swansea Cardiff Blues, Bellingham edition.
Arriva Trains Wales apologizes for the delay. There are leaves on the track and standing water. Please enjoy some refreshments, as we are unsure how long this will take. I thumb my day return, glad I left early. Still arrive in Cardiff 2 hours before a gig no one else fancied. Park in an oldish pub where they play a lot of U2. The bartender looks at me like I'm some kind of asshole, and I don't blame him. Jack, Coke, dwindling resources. I sit with an invisible friend and talk. Big, epic thoughts. Hard realities and romance. Place and provenance, adopted identities, and everything it takes to keep up with yourself. Like new shoes and maybe a haircut. New authors to stay relevant, old ones to stay credible. This is a start, but will not be enough. My invisible friend posits that art is more important than we give it credit for. Draws a line from Warhol to the Renaissance. Then it gets local. Connections and cutoffs. The swagger stumble I affected in the last adopted hometown, the fingers probing in the fishbowl lens I jackrabbited away from, the still developing hindsight. Wales to Washington, Seattle to Bellingham to Swansea to Cardiff, one by the sea space to another, none known for the things that make them real. They don't like to think of Wales as having cities. It is a land without cement. All rolling hills and drunk dead poets, because if the afterlife does not give you a drinking problem, few things will. In this way, Bellingham was an afterlife. I ask if I'm even allowed to talk about Wales, as an idea, as a flat in Swansea where I pile my books, as a pub in Cardiff where with or without you rings tinny off wood walls for the third time tonight. He says, why ask now? It's never stopped me before. The last town I knew like newsprint rubbed off on fingerprints could talk straight-faced like I owned it to those whose time there doubled mine. The things you think a place owes you just for being there. Things we expect of people we know just for being there. The dull silence between words when people acquiesce to quiet parts of their brain. This too is not enough. My invisible friend goes silent. Something I said must have teared him up. Those salty spots on the table didn't come from beer. He clears his throat, and we're back on art. Write your journals like they'll be read. Film the majority of your exploits, just in case someday you're brilliant. They assign brilliance to regions and take it away after a 3-year period, so claim as many places as you can, just in case you live above a revolution. The entire Western world being a series of revolutions and survivor accounts, a discarded charcoal sketch from God's studio, a spiritual Jackson Pollock hiccup. A series of natural disasters and overthrows, songs that end in pubs that ignore them, and just like that, the invisible friend is gone. Scratchings on my napkins and a stomach swung with cracking ideals. When I get out the gig, rain has whipped the trees free of their leaves. I approach the station, glance at my soggy day return, and wonder just how long this will take.